You are listening to Extinction Radio. Get the podcast at extinctionradio.org.
We have to remove carbon from the atmosphere because the oceans are getting very, very acidic, and it threatens the entire marine food chain because it threatens the base of the food chain, which is the phytoplankton, the type of phytoplankton like the coccolithophores and that use calcium in their backbone, because in acidic water those backbones won't be able to form. And the breeding cycle is all messed up, and if you take out the base of the food chain, a big part of it, you don't get the rest of the whole chain collapses. So this is a severe threat. So we have to take CO2 out of the atmosphere, and there's a lot of different ideas to do this. There's direct air capture. There's at least a dozen companies that are looking at that. I think biomimicry is the best way to do that. But the best way, I think, is to stimulate phytoplankton growth in large parts of the ocean where there's nothing right now in the surface waters because there's a lack of nutrients. So one way is to have these large tubes in the ocean that are lifted up and down by the waves with a valve, and it brings up a plug of nutrient-rich water from several hundred meters down, which then stimulates phytoplankton growth, and you can stimulate a marine ecosystem where nothing exists there now, and it's in the oceans, in the middle of the oceans, which are basically deserts in terms of lack of sea life. So, and that will capture enormous amounts of CO2 and start addressing reducing the acidity levels of the ocean. But we're losing Arctic sea ice and snow cover very rapidly, so we have to cool the Arctic. Otherwise, we're going to get huge methane emissions from the permafrost, both on land and under the ocean floor. And we have the risk of methane clathrates releasing huge amounts of methane, which will then rocket our temperatures. It'll basically take climate change, or the temperature rises out of our control. We'll blow past all of our targets and we'll be in a much warmer world. The Arctic will become permanently ice-free within a decade of the first blue ocean event where we lose sea ice. And we'll be in a different world, much warmer world. And we're moving there very rapidly. It's the time that it's happening that is a concern, because biology, plants and animals are migrating to the poles at enormous rates.